you need it for your papers, it's or your publications, it's 1-877-VOTE-BRI. That's Voting Rights Institute. So we have been staffing those phone lines and will be through Election Day. So as the calls have been coming in, people have been complaining. It's one thing to be told that we know you have an outstanding absentee ballot, you need to mail it in. That's fine. But we've been getting complaints from people that the callers have been posing as Board of Elections officials, and there's a specific statute that says you can't impersonate a Board of Elections official. So when we simply turn that over to the Attorney General. We have a situation in, I believe it's Highland County, where there's been one or more complaints about voting in nursing homes, and knowing that the Attorney General's office has 30 people, 30 attorneys assigned to us as it is now for pre and election day activity. We did hire an attorney to go ahead and start investigating that situation with the nursing home voting. Because the thing is when the Secretary of State does an investigation, the Secretary does have subpoena power, and we thought in this case there was going to need to be some really specific investigation where we decide whether or not we think there'd be probable cause to send this on to the Attorney General.
Just to follow up on the New York Times piece, have you been given assurances from the Justice Department that it won't take action on its own to force you to release any information, or that it won't sue?
It's our clear understanding from the Justice Department that we will not see litigation before the election. Now, if we were to just sit back after the election and do nothing, I wouldn't blame them for suing us to get it done, but that's not our intention. Our intention all along has been to try to comply. I would be the last person to say I simply don't want to provide something because this information, there are certain safeguards that we have to impose in terms of the privacy of the information because of Social Security numbers, driver's license numbers. There are several laws we have to comply with about what could be turned over. But in this case, this is in such a format that in the form that the Ohio Republican Party, that the Dispatch, whoever else has asked for it, wants it, it just cannot be supplied without damaging the database or without including people who should not be included in those numbers.
Would Justice on its own have the authority to order you to do anything, or would they have to get some court action?
They would have to have court action, but every time that the Justice Department has asked us for to deal with a particular situation, to send an instruction out, to perhaps look at a method or a procedure that we have, we've been more than willing to comply. I personally see attorneys from the Justice Department 2 or 3 times a year when I meet with other Secretaries of State at our meetings, and they've been very good to work with.
Are there any other court cases in general we should be aware of that will come about? I mean, I know you've got cases pending, but is there any?
There are the ones about whether Obama should be qualified to be president, whether he was born in the U.S., but those will go their way, I'm sure. I think probably what you could see Election Day, and we've been trying. We've had several dialogues with the attorneys for the presidential campaigns and with the parties, but the parties are usually kind of quiet at those things, and then they just sue afterwards. But the attorneys, we try to talk, the attorneys for the campaigns. There's a lot of concern about whether the polls are going to close at 7:30. The McCain campaign wanted to know what standards that we had on keeping polling locations open past 7:30. We made it very clear to them, and I hope if you have the chance to, you will as well, that anyone who is in line at 7:30, no matter where they are in the line, has the opportunity to vote. We will not close them out of voting. In fact, this quick reference guide tells the poll worker that one poll worker should actually go and stand at the end of the line so that they mark where the last person in line was at 7:30. Only if there's a court order would that go beyond, and anybody who voted as a result of a court order would vote a provisional ballot and not a regular ballot. And that's all here so that the poll workers know this. So that seems to be the biggest issue on the minds of the 2 presidential campaigns. And I suspect I'll be caught in the middle of a tug of war where you may get one campaign who says these lines are too long, we know voters have been disenfranchised, and because the lines are too long, you should keep them open later. And another one will say absolutely not. And In that case, if a court decides, we'll do whatever the court tells us to do and try to do it in as orderly fashion as possible.